Hi, my name is Bola Kaleraji. I'm the director for Solutionsprint Nigeria. I will be presenting this solution presentation for the attrition management system for ABC Tech. So ABC Tech reached out to us regarding some challenges they're facing within the organization, and we decided to come up with this particular solution. So in this presentation, I'll be talking about a few key things like the client profile. I'll also be talking about the testing plan for this particular solution as well as the solution development. I'll be talking about the adjustments we made in the course of this particular solution as well as the solution itself. First of all, we need to understand or know about the client, which is ABC Tech. So, ABC Tech is a mid-sized IT service firm within Nigeria. They have branches in three states. They have close to 1,470 staff members currently, and also they have like a robust competitive strength within this particular market. That's it about ABC Tech. And next, we have to understand what the problem is. What's the problem or what's the challenge within the organizations. So majorly the challenge is ABC Tech as an organization is facing a high attrition rate currently. Currently they have like a key man risk currently in the organization. They are facing this high attrition rate, which is limiting their competitive ability. So it's, as we know, the tech industry is a competitive market, and this type of issue can limit your ability to compete in that particular space. So in our past interactions, we actually collected data to actually analyze the business, to analyze the problem as well, to see if it's a surface problem or it's based on the organizational structure and things like that. This is just to ensure that we don't just heal the symptom and leave the actual issue, like the underlying issue behind, basically. So we ensure we collected sufficient data to understand this particular problem. So for the solution development, what we'll be doing is we'll be collecting data. We'll also be creating machine learning models to ensure that we can test the concept of even predicting attrition within an organization using some key factors like compensation, job satisfaction, age, distance from work, years served in the company, things like that. Just know if you can use this to even predict attrition within the organization. So these are the concepts we wanted to test as first. The testing model will involve preparing the data, so cleaning the data, formatting the data, ensuring that it's in the right format. We'll also be resampling the data to ensure that it's a balanced data set, and also we'll be splitting the data into train and test data, basically to ensure that 70% is for training the model, that's the machine learning model, and 30% is for actually testing the machine learning model. Then we'll evaluate the model to see if it meets some certain metrics, like the F1 score, the recall, the precision, and as well as accuracy. Then we'll have to compare the different machine learning models we'll be using to predict and test the concept of prediction before we actually go ahead to create the solution. So for the testing criteria, we have to ensure that we have some certain criteria are met within this particular test process. But basically, we have to ensure that we have highly accurate prediction. We also have to ensure that the training time for these machine learning models is very minimal. And also, you have to put it into consideration that the prediction time, because we need a model that runs very fast to ensure that there is no lagging with our prediction. And also, we have to ensure that we actually validate our initial hypothesis, which will be discussed in a few slides. And also these are the testing criteria to know that, okay, this concept actually works. You can actually predict attrition with some of these independent factors. So in the process of actually carrying out this particular project, we had some communication with the team at ABC Technologies. Our initial solution was just to use a machine learning model because that made sense to us. But with the communication with the team, we realized that not everybody is tech savvy, not everybody can actually use the machine, or not everybody can run a machine learning model within the HR team. So we decided to convert just that concept of predicting attrition with a machine learning model. We decided to convert that to creating sort of like a user-friendly HR attrition system service that it can be easy for the HR teams to just use this system to predict attrition, look at how attrition can be managed within the organization. And that was why we came up with AMSI, which is an attrition management system for ABC Tech. Also, we used SMOT in our concept of testing prediction. The concept of prediction, basically, we use the SMOT to ensure that we balance the data set, and this has improved the prediction accuracy to almost 90%, basically. So next, we will be discussing the data visualization and communication insights, basically, and also the interpretation and the application. So first of all, we have to collect data. So for this particular project, we collect data from the priming method. We use survey to get at least 23 respondents. Also, we got secondary data from IBM attrition data. Basically, we had to get data that had similar variables as the ones that's obtainable in ABC Tech to ensure that we can test the concept of prediction. Also, we had to get ABC Technology recruitment data to ensure that we can understand the current state of their recruitment process. This will enable us understand where the gap is and what we need to understand within their system, basically. We created a dashboard with the recruitment data we got, and we can see from this particular dashboard created that as long as we can see, as much as we can see here, we can see that there's a lot of recruitment activity. Recruitment activity is really high, but it is not affecting the manpower gap. So the manpower gap is increasing month on month, and the high attrition activity is not affecting the manpower gap, meaning it's not reducing the manpower gap. It's still as high as ever, and this is a call for concern because they need this manpower gap filled within the organization to be able to compete in that particular market. So I decided to ensure that we get enough variables, enough data from the IBM attrition data sets, basically, to have similar variables that can mirror the ones obtainable within ABC Tech HR team. Basically, we got variables like age, variables like distance from home, gender, job satisfaction, things like that, to ensure that okay, we can test the concept of prediction. Um, we also got we also got primary data to validate our selection of these variables. So we had to ask what was the factors that actually drive attrition from some of the staff that just left the organization. And from what we can see, it is similar to what we have in our ABC, in our IBM attrition data sets. So this validates our points that okay, these variables actually have an impact and should be used for prediction, basically. And also from this particular data set, we can see that most of the ex-employees complained about compensation and benefit, followed by job satisfaction within the organization. To wrap up the test, we can see that the we our training time showed remarkable numbers. We are seeing that the highest time it took to actually train any of the models we used is actually 7 seconds, and the prediction time is under 34 seconds. That's under 37 seconds rather. So that's the highest time it takes to actually predict any of these particular using any of these models. So we used decision tree, we used KNN, we used logistical regression, we also used discriminant analysis. So we also tested for the accuracy across the train and test data sets, and we can see that we have an average of 80% accuracy across all particular models, machine learning models used in this particular project. So this is to show you that the possibility of actually predicting attrition is actually feasible, and you can actually get high accuracy with this prediction basically. So next we'll move to the interpretation and insight. So first of all, we have to understand the hypothesis. What was the hypothesis we were trying to test? So my initial hypothesis for this project was there is a significant correlation between one or more independent factors. So like age, like distance from home, like compensation, and whether the and attrition. So we wanted to see if there was a correlation and if this prediction is was possible. So from the test we ran, we saw that okay, this prediction is actually possible. We can actually do this with a machine learning model, as well as ensure an average accuracy of at least 80%, which is pretty high. This has validated the hypothesis we made in the onset here, and also ensure that we can move ahead with providing a solution. So this is like a foundation for the solution we'll be providing for ABC Tech, basically. And we can see from this test that we ran, we can see that 50% of the staff complain about compensation. And that for that reason, it will be giving us a foundation to actually think about how we are going to present a solution for ABC Tech. So this is the recommendation and the next steps. So the executive summary shows what ABC technology is and the problem they are facing. Basically, our solution will involve testing the concept of prediction. We already did that, and we showed it. We got accuracy close to 90% within this particular test we ran, and also we got from the insights of the data analysis, we got that 50% of the primary data we collected, 50% complained about compensation. And if we're able to catch those 50% early, we'll have been able to retain them. And this is where AMSI comes in. So AMSI is going to be a system that's going to monitor attrition characteristics. So once a staff shows high attrition characteristics, it will be flagged, and AMSI will detect that, and the organization can target the organization can target that particular staff with retention incentives basically. So that is going to be the vision for this particular project. The people that will be able to benefit from this will be the HR managers, the head of departments, as well as the technical support staff. They will all be able to benefit from this. The head of departments can actually control his team and be able to spot out attrition threats within his team. The HR manager can also control the obviously can also control the attrition threats within the entire organization and target those people with HR incentives basically. So I'll be discussing the um, solution and the mock-up and the functionality of this particular software. So first of all, we're looking at the sign up page. The software should be easy to sign up for, so it should have a simple and easy to use sign up function. It should be able to integrate with other apps if the organization wants it to. So Facebook Mail. You should be able to sign in on Facebook. You should be able to find it on Gmail and things like that. That should be easy for anybody to sign up on. Also, it should also have a calendar for the anybody using this to be able to schedule events. You should be able to check what you have to do on some particular dates in the future or in the past basically. You should also have a to-do list, so a daily agenda for the person using the application to know what item is important, what item is urgent, and which one you can do later on in the future. Also, it should have an alert for high attrition probability. So staff that show high attrition characteristics should be flagged, and the staff or the person using this particular software should be able to reach out to this staff or generally target this particular staff to see what exactly is going on basically. Right. So the ARM side would also have a data dashboard to track all the attrition KPIs. So for generally within the organization, they should be able to track everybody leaving, everybody coming in, what exactly the employee satisfaction rating is. So a couple of KPIs will be tracked within this particular dashboard, as well as a chat function to be able to chat with the staff. Also, there should be a survey page for easy surveys. You'll be able to run surveys to understand employee satisfaction, run surveys to onboard staff. Different surveys should be able to be created. All in all, this will be an all in all attrition management system, just to ensure that the attrition within the organization is managed for ABC Tech, basically. The project plan is going to be simple and straightforward. It's going to go from ideation. We're going to also design mock-ups and also low fidelity wireframes, basically. So I did that in our previous communication, as well as creating mock-ups in this particular presentation to ensure that the first stage has been kicked off. Then we are going to collect data, we're going to develop, we're going to test and refine, and we're going to train. I wanted to emphasize on training the staff to understand how to use it before we roll it out and integrate it into the ABC Tech organization. So I showed this to you at ABC Tech, and you were able to give me some insights and some concerns about what you feel about the solution we presented at Solution Sprint. Basically, you mentioned how the presentation was pretty clear, pretty concise. You enjoyed it, but you said that I could use more visual tools to actually visualize what I'm trying to pass, which I took and I'll be improving on. And also, you said you were very eager to see the implementation stage. How will we implement this particular project? How will we implement this particular product? Which is exciting to hear from a consulting firm. So we want to help implement it as well, and we will be ensuring that we help with the implementation process. So the other questions I was able to ask from the client feedback form, it was all good reviews. You enjoyed it. The section of the data visualization was particularly insightful. The solution seems comprehensive and aligned with your needs at ABC Tech, which was music to our ears. We love hearing things like that. So the key lessons I picked up from this particular project. So first of all, data quality matters. You have to get good data. So if you have good data, you can be able to create insights and thoroughly understand how to actually provide a solution. The importance of testing. As you can see, there was rigorous testing that went into this project, and we had to measure a lot of things. The time it took, the metrics to measure accuracy, a lot of things were measured. We also had to be flexible. You can see the time that we had to switch from just a machine learning model to an actual software, user friendly software based on user feedback, based on your feedback as a client. We're able to switch that, and this is what I learned doing this project. So effective communication is also very important. I'll also use the example of when we switch from the initial model to this model, because I had to communicate and also see that, okay, what were you guys needs? What was the needs of ABC Tech? I had to switch that to ensure that I met the needs of the client. Also, collaborative effort. So this took a whole village, because I had to communicate with the HR team, development team, also the design team as well. So a lot of things went into this particular project that showed our collaborative effort, basically. And if I'm reflecting on what happened in the duration of this project, this was a long-winded project. So if I was to reflect on how the project went, I would actually highlight a few things like the risk, the constraints, and the dependency, and my particular time management. So I went to a lot of risks like data availability, resource constraints, which I also overcame by actually looking for alternative means of data. when I couldn't get enough from ABC Technology, I went online to search for alternative sources that will mirror the actual variables that I had at ABC Tech. I also worked with constraints like actually resources and time constraints. That was a major thing for me, but I had to work around that. It affected my time management because I created like a Gantt chart initially. I had to deviate from that Gantt chart and create another project plan to ensure that I stayed on track to project completion. It just had to show that I had to be flexible in terms of completing this particular project, and I had to assess my risks properly to ensure that I'm able to complete this particular project. Thank you so much for listening to me, and I would like to meet you at the implementation stage where we'll talk further on how to deliver this particular product. Thank you.